Run the code online or download from codegive.com, link in the description below. Docker Compose is a tool for defining and running multi-container Docker applications. It allows you to define the services, networks, and volumes needed for your application in a single YAML file. In this tutorial, we'll explore how to use Docker Compose to set up a Python application with multiple services. Before starting, ensure you have Docker and Docker Compose installed on your system. You can install Docker from Docker's official website, and Docker Compose is usually included in the Docker installation for Windows and Mac OS. For Linux, you might need to install Docker Compose separately. First, let's create a simple Python application. Create a directory for your project, and inside it, create a Python script named app.py with the following content. This script defines a simple function greet, that takes a name as input and returns a greeting message. Next, we need to create a dockerfile to build our Python application. Create a file named dockerfile in the same directory as app.py with the following content. This dockerfile sets up a Python 3.9 environment, installs dependencies from a requirements.txt file, copies the application code, and specifies the command to run the application. Now, let's create a Docker Compose configuration file named dockercompose.yml in the project directory. This Docker Compose file defines a single service named web. It builds the Docker image using the current directory, maps port 5000 of the host to port 5000 of the container, and mounts the current directory to /app inside the container. Now that everything is set up, let's run our Python application using Docker Compose. Open a terminal, navigate to your project directory, and run the following command. Docker Compose will build the Docker image, create the container, and start the application. You should see the output "Hello, World" printed to the console. In this tutorial, you learned how to use Docker Compose to set up a Python application with multiple services. Docker Compose simplifies the process of defining, managing, and running multi-container Docker applications, making it easier to develop and deploy complex applications. Experiment with different configurations and services to fit your specific project requirements. ChatGPT.